I'm so excited to chat with you because you have this new album, you have singles. I know that you guys, excuse me, I know that you are often described as sort of pop music, but now you're stepping into sort of pop trap almost with your new single, Tears. How do you describe the music
Yes.
that you make?
Well, my album is an autobiography album. I almost made up a new word there. An album that's an autobiography, an autobiographical. But anyway, yes, my album is an autobiography, and I think that's what really makes it stand out. Um, I, you're correct in that I used to make a lot of classic dance and pop music. And then I went into another industry for a while. Um, I went into another industry for a while, and you know, music's always been at my core. It's always been something I can't escape. So I did start writing about my experiences of growing wholesale cannabis in Los Angeles. And when that when I started writing about that, it was almost like uncontrollable. It was just I was going through these experiences and I had to start writing it again. So the music never escaped me. And that's how it kind of got into these trappy beats because the music became, before when I would write, I think I was trying to escape some things. Whereas when I started growing cannabis, I had a full 360 and I realized that those things I was trying to run away from, you know, they were confronting me. And I could no longer write about, going out and having fun and just all these classic things that people write about relationships and living in New York. And I was like, no, I need to write about the stuff that hurts, the stuff that's hard to confront, the stuff that I've always tried to escape. Those are the things that I need to write about. And that's when the pop became way more raw and way more vulnerable. And that's how the beats became more trappy with a little more attitude and even a little hip hop intertwined into the pop music itself. But it's funny because I also have classical instruments in the pop music. I also play the flute. So I put that into some of the songs. So it's like trap and pop and classical all combined into one, which is interesting.
That's incredible. I'm curious, who are some of the artists that influenced you when you were growing up?
Well, it's a great question that you ask because the artist that influenced me growing up is actually on the album. So, like I was saying, I was trying to escape things, and I grew up kind of in a hard environment as a child. And it was because there's only so much I can say, but it's really, it was, I did lose a brother, by the way. So that's in the album and everything. So the album really is about grief, loss, life, empowerment, everything, and getting through all that and getting to empowerment. But so Gangsta Boo, who is a legend from 3 6 Mafia, we unfortunately lost her. She passed away shortly after she worked on my album. And so these are actually going to be the first vocals from her since her passing. And so I'm making sure that everything is the best for her. But Gangsta Boo, the reason she inspired me is because growing up, we can just say broadly, in a, you know, I don't know if you want to call it like unstable, but a hard childhood environment. I didn't know where to turn. And when I started hearing her lyrics, I actually like connected with a lot of it. And I was small and I had no one to look up to. And I kind of felt like listening to Gangsta Boo kind of saved me a little bit because then I felt like I had someone understanding what I was going through and I could listen to it and it kind of helped me. So I always like kept that with me. And then I ended up meeting her in Los Angeles, and we became friends, and she became a mentor of mine, and she really, really believed in me. And then we ended up working on a song together.
Very
So,
surreal. Very surreal.
yeah, her name, what was that?
I'm very surreal for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, because she was like my childhood. Like I was listening to her when I was like 14. And here I was as an adult, and I was in the studio with her. And then we were doing like some classic stuff. Like she has these classic, stuff she does in her music. And we were doing it together, like as a, like a, just as a shout out kind of to her music. So it was great. It was a good experience. I couldn't have asked for anything more. And it was so sad because we were planning on doing performances together and stuff with
Sure.
that song. She wanted to be in the video, and then we lost her sadly. So, but yeah, her name is Gangsta Boo, and she's considered, like very very well known
Yeah.
as a female rapper. Yeah, from 3 6 Mafia. That's her.
Tears is just an incredible single for you, and it's very raw for you to
Yes.
open up about what made this the perfect single for the summer for your album.
Well, since my album is an autobiography, I'm kind of going through the songs in like an order where I kind of feel the order is fit. And I next summer there will be some like bouncier songs coming out for fun in the sun. But yes, this song is very emotional and it's very trappy. Um, and it is going to top 40 radio in June, which is great. It got approved by the radio programmers. And we just finished the video a few days ago. And it's a beautiful theme. And what made me open up, I'm really proud of this song because I wrote it on a day when I didn't really know where to turn in life. I lost my brother in a terrible, terrible tragedy. Um, someone went into his home at 4 a.m. and him protecting himself, he lost his life, and he died in my mother's arms. And then I lost my mom shortly after that, and I was burying them kind of by myself because my little brother was taking care of their where they live. So I was the one taking care of the memorial services and them basically. So I went through a lot, and I still am going through it. But the day I wrote Tears, I was kind of like at my wits' end. I didn't understand life. I thought it was so strange how we could be here today working on things, doing great, and then tomorrow one of us could be gone. I just thought it's so unfair and it doesn't make sense. And I started questioning, why are we even here? I'm almost crying just talking about it. Like, I didn't even know why we were here. And it was raining really bad. And I was very upset. I was feeling a lot of adrenaline and anger from everything that had happened. So I wrote this song, and I felt like it kind of saved me, because if I hadn't written it that day, I would have just been so in a bad place, you know?
Okay. Well, you're very brave to be so emotionally raw on this track, and I think it's going to be a quick favorite. I mean, it's a perfect follow-up to Boulevard, which was so successful for you, and that must mean so much to you that it was so widely received. OK Magazine, Spin, LA Weekly, Rolling Stone UK just embraced Boulevard. That must be um, such an incredible feeling for you. And
It
at the
was,
perfect
and
timing where you needed that boost.
you are so right. That's very introspective of you to say that. Yeah, Boulevard, I thought was one of the out of the emotional. Well, they're all emotional, but you know what I mean. Some are fun emotion. So about us, of all the serious emotion, I thought Boulevard was the lightest in a way, and it was for everyone, and that's why I thought it would be my first single, because Boulevard is really about how everyone is truly a star within themselves. And I thought it was interesting because people always like make fun of Los Angeles. And I think the opposite. I think like, well, you know what? Think of how many, like, this is like just a hypothetical, like black sheeps of the family who are very creative get to go to LA and be themselves, and they're their own star. And it's so great because, like, you know, it's like you can even be like a star real estate agent in LA or a star hairstylist. So it's not that it's about LA, it's just about that energy that we're all stars in reality. And you can really take that and go to any city with that energy. So it's kind of just saying, like, you know, everyone's making fun of Los Angeles, but it's really beautiful over here because we all really love ourselves and we all believe in ourselves, and we all are just truly stars within ourselves in life. Every person, it doesn't matter where you are just truly stars within ourselves in life. Every person, it doesn't matter where you are, you know?
I,
Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry.
I was saying I think that's great. It's very all-encompassing about LA, where it's the most accepting city of anyone. You could
Yes.
have a mohawk, you could be a business person, you could,
You
said,
get it.
as you said, you could be
And
the.
some people don't and some people don't know that because, you know, they've never been there, so they just see what they see in the news or whatever, and they like, oh, you know, all the bad stuff. But I'm like, no, I really wanted to make a song where people could understand the beauty and just that kind of oddly that spiritualness about that you can be whoever you want to be, and that's what's so beautiful about it. Yeah.
It's such a packed album for you. Are you thinking you might want to play some of these songs live at some point? Go on a tour?
Oh yeah, yeah. Right now, I'm just in the production phase. I have performed a lot in the past, and I'm going to be performing, of course, again. But I'm like in a very deep production phase where I'm kind of finalizing the album, so it's requiring a ton of my attention. And then what I'm going to be doing in the fall and winter is working on the actual live set, and then when the album drops, I think will be the perfect time to start performing live again, because then all the songs will be out. So then, like, I can perform all of them with no issues. Because
For the
soul
Chron
writer.
Yes. For the Chronicles, you're the sole writer, creative director, and executive producer. Why was it so important for you to be so hands-on with this?
Well, it is my autobiography, and I'm putting it in a musical form because music is at my core, you know, how I communicate. And so naturally, I wanted to keep the integrity of the album. And as an autobiography, you know, you can't really have anyone else's energy or writing in there. It really needs to just be raw, straight from your soul, straight from the heart, and all you. And that's what I did with this album. I basically took all the things that have really been a core uh, inspiration of my life since childhood into my adulthood, and I put all of that into the album. So I would be the only one to ever know that. So definitely that's why it's all me in those departments. Let's just keep going. And we wanted to do that, but I was still the creative director as executive producer on that song regardless. And then the other songs, of course, I executive produced all of them. So with that to say, I'm still the executive producer on everything. It's just was fun to get to like collaborate with some people from the studio. So I would say that was like my only real collaboration. But yes, technically I've done the entire album, and that's why, because it's just I cannot have anyone on it because it's my personal story, right? So I've just really taken the lead on it. I've just really treated it like my special little treasure. And I cannot, I just haven't wanted to be anyone on it because, then it wouldn't be so personal. Because if somebody else was on it, they would, put in their own writing or their own energy into the song, and it wouldn't be my autobiography anymore. So I'm just being with integrity. I'm calling it an autobiography, and that's exactly what it is. I've done the entire thing, and that's why it's taken so long. I literally started this process in December 2021. So you can tell it's a book because we're here now, like, almost 4 years later. So,
On Chronicles, you got to live out your dream and collaborate with Gangsta Boo. Are there some other artists you would love to collaborate with in the future?
oh, yeah, I think I definitely love to collaborate with artists, because, especially if only if you're like true fans, because there are some other artists that I'm possibly collaborating with for this album or getting to feature in songs for my album. Um, so I'm looking forward to seeing if that happens. But definitely, I would say when you're inspired, that's the word. When you're inspired by certain artists, you definitely want to get them to be a feature or collaborate with them because it's just such a great feeling and a full rounded circle with your artistry. So I definitely would do that for sure. Yeah.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music you continue to make?
I would say thank you so much for it means so much to have people listen to parts of my life that affected me so deeply that it could go negative, but to turn it into a piece of art and an inspirational story, that's what matters. And that's what hopefully will help other people and inspire other people who may feel alone or may feel like they're going through a really difficult time. They'll see that it's a part of their story.